Welcome to Super Empowered Angels. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Ashley Holt. Right? Did I say your name right?
Ashley Holt, yes. Thank you for having me. I love your podcast and I love what you're doing. I actually love the name of your podcast. I think that's a fantastic name.
Yes. Thank you. I will get your bio. Okay. Ashley Holt is passionate and committed to bringing women's voice and leadership into the world. Ashley is a mother of two daughters, best-selling author, nonprofit founder, motivational speaker, former Mrs. International finalist, and international podcast host. Wow, that's pretty impressive. After facing divorce and becoming a single parent, Ashley reinvented herself and turned her pain into power and purpose. I love that. Goddess Wake Up is Ashley's sixth book. Her mission through all of her works is to empower others to claim their power, recognize their highest potential, and live their best life. Her other works include I Am Brave, Soul Strong Living for Girls, Maiko, the Perfectly Imperfect Pug. I take it you have a pug. And Fearless with Finley, Make a Wish with Marley, and Beyond the Woman. Visionary women join their voices and reweave the tapestry of human consciousness. Ashley's dynamic professional experience includes a successful career with a Fortune 500 company where she excelled in personal development, coaching, and women's leadership roles. She also previously was connected with women to their community through their impactful role with the South's largest digital publication for women. Ashley is a passionate student of number one New York Times best-selling author and Oprah's Super Soul Sunday expert, Gabrielle Bernstein's masterclass, and she is also trained and certified in ETF, emotional freedom technique, and neuro-linguistic programming. I studied that too.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, and other holistic practices. Ashley's passion to inspire children, teens, and women find their voice to live life to their highest potential has led her to work as an author, speaker, and empowerment coach. Through her numerous media appearances, books, public speaking, and coaching, she is fulfilling her passion as a mentor with a mission to create a safe and compassionate space for women as an author, speaker, and empowerment coach. Wow.
Thank you. I that's my whole life summed up in a couple of minutes. So thank you for sharing that. I would have given you something a lot shorter.
Yeah, that is very impressive. So tell me about what inspired you to write your first book.
Yes, so I wasn't planning on becoming an author or writing at all. I have a background in sales and marketing for 20 years. So surprises come in life, right? And I was going through a divorce, and those were not good times for me. So I was going through that process, and I wanted to make sure, of course, as a mom of two girls, that they were okay, because we were all hurting. So my daughter happened to be a great artist, or she still is a great artist. So I thought it would be fun to make a book together and fill it with positive affirmations, because at that time I was going through a big transformation myself, and positive affirmations was something that was really, radically transformative in my life. So I wanted to start incorporating that in their life from a young age. So little did I know this little scrapbook that she was going to draw ended up, getting, an official illustrator and being published with Balboa Books and then in Barnes and Noble. And um, years later, as she got older, I started writing books for teen girls because I was like, well, I want them to know everything I didn't know at that age, because that's a really tough age. How can I, lessen the pain that I had then? And then so I started aligning with nonprofits that worked with girls and teens, and I would speak. And afterwards, the moms would pull me inside and they would say, we loved, your platform. We need that book for us. Do you have one for women or for moms? And I thought, well, that's a great idea. I always wanted to do that in the back of my mind, but I didn't think I was quite ready until now. And so it just released. It's called Goddess Wake Up, and it's for teens as well as for really any female of any age, but it was written in mind for moms who felt unsupported or unmotivated or just felt like something was missing in life.
Uh-huh. Thank you for sharing that story. Like, so your daughter actually started, like, inspired you, right?
Oh yes, definitely. They are my inspiration for everything.
So tell me more about your book, your latest book.
Yes, and I know you have a great book as well, and so I can't wait to hear more about that because it looks amazing. But Goddess Wake Up is my sixth book, and so this is it's a 28-day challenge. And I see all these challenges on social media, and I don't like to use the word challenge necessarily, but I like to call it a 28-day goddess mindset transformation. I feel like that's a little more glamorous for us women out there. So it's the 28-day goddess transformation, and it is the 7 key steps to the goddess mindset. So the word goddess is actually each letter of the word goddess, I should say, is a chapter. It has a strong intention to begin and an affirmation that goes along with each chapter. So I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but there are 7 key steps that I ask or that I challenge you to do for 28 days, because as with any effective teaching, repetition is key. And what I love about it is I still do it every 28 days. So I do it 28 days and I transform and I expand and I grow. And then I'm so excited to do it again the next 28 days because it builds and builds and builds. So you can just keep on reading it over and over.
Yes. Yeah, it's you're just building up your foundation, and then you become empowered.
Yes, because the main thing is, I had to go through my darkest times mostly by myself, right? And I think a lot of people have to do that, and it's really hard. So I wanted to come up with a way so you didn't have to do it by yourself, but you can do it by yourself. And so this is a great way to, if you find yourself feeling alone, like you do have the power within you to create a new life and to live your best life. And I hope that this in some way helps a lot of people do that.
Yes, of course it will. Yeah, same with me. I wrote the beauty of change, the fun way for women to turn pain into power and purpose, because I went through, like, my family is in the Philippines, and so I'm the only one in here in America.
Well,
so when I was going through,
Goddess, you did good.
So when I was going through divorce, I went through divorce twice, and all the challenges that I faced, I did it by myself, and of course with my friends too that were there for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I know you feel the pain. I read your story, and it's beautiful, and you are definitely a woman of strength and of beauty and all things love. So thank you again for letting me share this with you today.
Yes. So tell me more about how you, like, what are the challenges when you were writing your book?
I don't know if I have any challenges while writing it. I find so much joy in that time. I am really strict which you'll, in reading the book, like I have a very strict daily routine. I do my meditations, I do my affirmations, I get out in nature, I do my exercise, and then I write. And when I leave out some of those steps, you know, I can feel it during, you know, that day, or if it's a week or whatever, I don't feel as good. So it's really important to make those things a priority in my life. I would say the biggest challenge would be, I guess, when you write something so personal and then you put it out into the world, all you hope is that it helps one person, or that it's just accepted by someone, that you just hope it makes a difference in just one life. And so I think that that's the biggest challenge, is when you do something so personal and so vulnerable, and then you put it out in the world, and then that kind of moment where you're like, is it good enough? And then I'm like, I teach this, yes, it's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, with me, it was first I thought I healed every wound that I had, since because I have so many childhood wounds from my dad. And when I was writing the book, I discovered that I have some wounds that was not healed. And in the process of writing my book, I healed the wounds that was not healed.
Yes, that's what, it's so therapeutic for me. That's why I don't felt like it was so, I that's why I said every 28 days I do it, because every day I do this and renew my 28-day focus just on myself and my fears and my blocks and, you know, past traumas. You still uncover more and more and more. So like the healing journey is never going to be over. I don't think, you know, I think I'll still be, hopefully, you know, 95 and still figuring out new things about myself.
Yes, as human being, it's like growing is part of our lives, because if we're not growing, then we're dying. So it's important to grow, just keep learning and just keep growing.
Definitely.
So who are the three people who have been like the most important, influential in your life, like with your mission?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say my father, who passed away a few years ago, was definitely the light of my life. He was just a bright light, positive energy. He believed in me so much. Like I'll tear up talking about him now, but there was just no one who believed in me more. So when he passed away, I think that was a really hard time for me. And I could just always hear him, just keep going, Ashley, like just do something, just keep doing you, like keep writing and putting, you know, yourself into the world. You know, he just never wanted me to be ashamed of who I was. And then I would say right during I was staying in a marriage that was very toxic, and I was staying too long, and I was at that fence, and I was just like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Do I stay? Do I go? And it was just constant, you know, this battle of the mind that you go through, I think. And then one of my best friends now, at the time, she happened to walk into my life, and her name's Dale Smith Thomas, and she is also an author and a motivational speaker. But she was able to just breathe life back into me when I so needed it. I remember she would say, I will believe in you until you believe in yourself. Because at that time, you know, I had no self-worth. I had no confidence. I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do. And I don't know where I would be without her. So shout out to her. If you aren't familiar, pull her up in her books. Good Morning Gorgeous. It's an amazing platform, and I'm always thankful for her. And then, of course, my children. But as far as kind of growth in this field, I would say, you know, just some of the great of the greats for me. It was Gabby Bernstein. I loved her, and I loved watching her, and I loved her message. I think there's so many other amazing women out there empowering other women. So really, I just completely absorbed myself in all things personal development. I was reading every single book I could get my hand on. I was watching any kind of inspirational, motivational YouTube video. I was, you know, If there was a speaker in town, I was going to that. I was just like a camel in the desert, needing more and more and more. And I just fed myself.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ebook, podcast, videos.
Yeah. I mean, and I still do, even though, I don't consider myself at their caliber by any means, but I hope to be one day. And I just want to keep growing and keep expanding and keep transforming and keep becoming better.
Yes. Well, every one of us has a mission here, have a mission and purpose on this planet. So even though there are people that are already so popular and just big influencer to others, there's always room for somebody new, because we have our own blueprint. So nobody can tell our story. We have our own story to tell.
Absolutely.
So what is the most important like tip or advice you can give for those women who are going through what you've been through in the past? It's like getting out of a toxic relationship. I know it's hard to get out when you're at the present, you're on the situation, and it's kind of hard to go. You don't know how to get help, and you just don't know what's the next step. What's the most important advice or tip you can give to them?
Isn't it hard to narrow that down to one? I think that pickup is, I don't know, 180 pages. But if I had to narrow it down to one, I feel like in my coaching sessions, the number one thing that the beginning of that mindset, when I'm sitting them down and figuring out, I call them SLBs, right? Let's get these SLBs out of you. And that's a self-limiting belief. So one, it's like you've got to know thyself, right? You have to be aware of who you are, what you want, and where you want to go. And so many people don't give themselves just 5 minutes a day to invest in their future. And when I say invest in your future, we get so caught up in our past, in making decisions based on our past, in our past traumas, in our past failures, in our past imperfections, that it freezes us, it paralyzes us to do anything new, to try something new, to do something different, to go out of the box. So, long answer short, to identify where are your blocks, and to start making sure you are taking steps toward your future and not stuck in your past. And there's a lot that goes into that, but stop settling for where you've been and give your time and your energy and everything you got to where you're going.
Thank you so much for that. So if you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I have not asked you?
Oh gosh.
I don't want to mess out on something, like not ask you on something that is very important that you want to share.
I would say, I can't think of really the question, but I guess I'll make it more of a statement, or you can tell me, maybe I'll ask you the same question I would ask myself. But was there a moment that you remember when you knew, this is it? I am tired of living my life this way. I'm tired of kind of being pushed around, shoved around, not being important. Like, I know I'm here with purpose and I'm ready to dedicate myself to me. Like, I'm gonna do this. Was there a moment for you where you remember that moment?
Yes. I'm not going to play small anymore.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that I am a daughter of the great I am, and I have this power. All I have to do is choose to use it.
I love that. That's so, but that, I mean, I feel like my answer is the exact same one. And I feel like that's, if we could just get all these women together, and if you don't know this, know it now. Be like, you are the daughter of the great I am, and you can do anything, and you have so much power in you that you have not even begun to tap into. And I would be honored to help you find that for yourself. That's what, I love doing this work, because I'm sure you see it too. These lights start going off in their eyes and in their heart and then in their actual physical world. And you're just like, yeah, I didn't do that. You did that. I was just
Yeah.
there to cheer you along the way, but that was always there in you. And that, I love that moment when that big like light bulb goes off and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I had all of this in me and I've been hiding it.
Yes. And most of the time, if you feel like you're not empowered because of all the limiting beliefs, and also when you hold grudges. And so when I was writing my book, I also made sure I put there that you have to forgive even those people that hurt you. You have to forgive them, not for them, but for yourself, because it's like drinking poison and expect them to die. So you have to let go and forgive.
Yeah. I still, like, the people who have hurt me the most in life, I still, they are part of my prayer every day. I say, I bless you with love. I release you. I let you go. And I wish for you, or you have come as love. That's what I say. You have come as love. Because to me, like, I personally believe they were here to teach me. I was off track and they were here to teach me, hey, Ashley, you're going the wrong way. I'm here to make you remember something about you and why you're here. Because all of these people, all the people that have hurt me were my biggest teachers. And without them, I wouldn't be able to be helping the people I'm able to work with and do all these things too. So ultimately, I am so grateful for them. And some days I have to remind myself that. but I do have an ultimate, just in the plan, in the bigger plan, that I don't always understand. I know that was there for a purpose, and it was to teach me who I really am.
Yes.
So
they're like our training. We had to go through this training, and they were the tools.
Yeah. It was super empowered angel 101, right? And then 201 and 301. Very good.
And so tell me more about the time when you were writing your other books.
When I was writing the other books?
Yes.
Gosh, I have had so much fun writing them. I think
I'm curious about the pug. The pug.
Yeah, I was going to say that because Miko was the very first one. So Miko, it's Miko the perfectly imperfect pug, because we had a pug at the time and she passed away and we were all very sad. And so we're like, how could we internalize Miko? She was part of our family. So my 3 children's books, it's a series, and they're all about dogs. And then the proceeds went to help animal rescue, because she was a rescue as well. But it was filled with affirmations, and it was, I'm as strong as the sun, I'm as big as the sky, there's nothing that I cannot do. So that was,
I love that.
That was the song or the anthem, of, if you will, of Miko the perfectly imperfect one, which is still probably my favorite book out of all of them.
Yeah, I'm a dog person, so I have a Pomeranian, and he's upstairs. I was telling you, you're gonna be quiet because I have a podcast interview.
She's like, yes, ma'am. Very good.
So yeah, and I think we still have a lot of time. Is there anything that you would like to share to our listeners?
Yeah, well, a couple things, not to go over too much, but I do want to leave the listeners with something to do or take away with them. And I love this game. It's something I do in my meditations or when I'm journaling, and I call it the what if game. Have you ever done this? So
that's in my book.
I read about it too. So we probably learned this from the same coach or mentor along the way, but I love this, especially for people who are not accustomed to doing self-development or really stretching their imagination on what's really possible for them. I do the what if game, and since you know about it too, we can share, but always think about, where are you and what's the best thing that could happen to you today. Like, what's the
Mm-hmm.
best news you could possibly receive? Okay, well, what if you really got that news? And then what if, like, what is the next greatest thing that you could possibly imagine happening? Like, if you got a check in the mail tomorrow for a certain amount of money, what bill do you really need to pay off? Okay, $500. Well, what if $1,000 came in? And then you start like doubling it and just keep going asking,
Mm-hmm.
what if, about 6 or 7 times. And then you get some really good imagination and possibilities going. So I'm so glad you write about that. I haven't read your book yet, but I'm going to. I'm gonna make sure I do that.
Oh, mine is different. The what ifs is the what ifs that are negative, and then turn it into positive instead of saying, what if they don't like me? So I'm not going to start a business, or I'm not gonna write a book because what if they don't like it? So turn it into, what if they'll love me as I am?
I love that. Isn't that funny? It's like the same game, but a little different spin on that. And that is a great one. I'm going to use that. That's great. I'll be sure to give you credit, I promise.
Yeah, stay connected. So where can our listeners connect with you online?
So I'm on Facebook, Ashley Holt, Holt, and then on Instagram, it's Ashley_Holt. I have YouTube as well, and it's Ashley Holt, author, speaker, coach. And if you get the book or read the book, I do have a YouTube video for each chapter just to make it a little more personal, because I remembered when I was going through this on my own, I didn't have money for an empowerment coach or to do workshops and all of that. So if that's where you are, and there's nothing wrong with that, I hope you'll watch the videos to just have a little bit better connection with me, so you know you're not alone.
Okay, cool. I will write that down and put it down on the description also, so it's easy for people to find you.
Thank you so much. Well, it was an honor and a blessing. I'm so glad our paths crossed, and I'm sure they'll cross again some way or another in the future.
Yes, so this episode is sponsored by my book, The Beauty of Change, The Fun Way for Women to Turn Pain into Power and Purpose. And this podcast is to empower women one heart at a time.
Very
So thank you so much, Ashley. And I appreciate what you do to empower other women.
Thank you, Goddess. I appreciate you as well. Have a great week.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.